This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
Good morning. Welcome back to Let's Go Win podcast. I am J.M. Ryerson.
And I'm Lisa Ryerson.
We are coming from Hotel Ryerson today. We have been busy with guests, have we not, my love?
Yes, it's been fun, to say the least. Yeah, it's been nonstop. We have one group of people coming in to visit, and then house cleaners come, and then the next group comes in. It's been awesome.
It has been. And you know what I've noticed, and this is not what we're talking about today, though. I get off my routine a bit when people are here. And so that's been a little bit of a struggle for me. I have to be honest. I have to really be diligent about figuring out when to do my normal stuff, because one morning you're taking somebody here, or I don't know, it's kind of thrown everything off. Have you noticed anything different?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would have to say it's been fun eating out all the time, but yeah, it's hard to, just kind of squeeze in work here, make sure we're hosting properly.
So all of you that were guests or upcoming guests, just know we love you, but it's messing up my routine. It does make me appreciate the day to day, what some people might consider monotonous, but I don't. I love having my normal thing that I do all the time, because it puts me in that best position. So all the stuff I coach on, it's interesting when I get thrown off, I have to really focus in. So I do perform at my best, and that's not been easy.
I know we're staying up too late. Well, here's the news, JM. I'm not going to say it's good, bad, or indifferent news, but we pretty much have guests here until the end of May.
Perfect. I love it. So what are we talking about today? Let's take a peek. We are, I know what we're talking about: benefits and examples of daily affirmations. Now, you know that this is something I am very big on. It's something, really, I started with the kids when they were babies. So I think it's vitally important, but I don't know. Do you do your own daily? I've never asked you this. Do you do your own daily affirmation?
Really? You don't know this at all?
I really don't.
That's interesting. Well, that actually makes me happy, because that means you're not analyzing me like tooth and comb, or what is that? Tooth and comb.
The fine tooth comb?
With a fine tooth comb.
I don't even use a comb.
And a tooth and a comb. Yeah. It's, I don't have daily affirmations, but when I am not feeling at my best in the mornings, maybe like if I'm tired or whatever, I do look in the mirror. It's just, case by case basis. I do look in the mirror and I go, all right, Lisa, you got this. Like, you're a rock star today. And I'll just talk myself up into just rocking my day. So I guess I do it, but it's on a daily basis.
You consistently, inconsistently do an affirmation every once in a blue moon?
Yes. Only when needed.
All right. Fair enough. Well, so that may be something, because if you're operating at a high level and then when you're not feeling it, then you do it. I am more of a habitual guy, as we talked about with routines. And something that I started with both of our boys is literally the same thing. And I'll say it again, because so often I've had people say, wow, will you write that down? And I will tell you, full transparency, I wish I'd made it far shorter.
I can't even remember it.
Well, and even the kids, because they do it every single night before they go to bed. And sometimes they're just tired and they're like, really, Dad? It's so long.
I know. It's like the last thing they want to do, but they do it.
Yeah. So I ask them a question. I say, are you a leader? And normally they say yes, but sometimes, especially Trey, he'll be like, nope. And then we have to go through this battle of wills as to if he's a leader or not. Eventually he will succumb and say, yes, Dad, I am. Okay. And then I say, why? They say, I'm confident, strong, intelligent, athletic, good looking, dynamic, popular, talented, independent boy with a growth mindset. Now, again, I wish I had made it like I'm confident, strong, and intelligent or something, but I didn't. And so it's what they know. And what's interesting, they won't go to sleep unless I come in and do it. So I don't know how that works while I'm away. Again, I know sometimes I'll do it with them over the phone. Do they still do it with you?
I have to fill in, yes. Well, you call me. You go, hey, make sure you give the boys love and ask them if they're a leader. And so I fill in.
So you don't have to fill in. You get to fill in. Let's change our verbiage.
I choose to fill in
nice.
because
well done. I love when you choose to do things. That's awesome. All right. So the reason for doing affirmations is very simple. They've done studies, guys, lots of scientific studies it proves that when people can improve their health, when people feel positively, they tend to live longer and have a higher quality of life. And the one thing I know about this world is people are going to knock you down. Mm-hmm. And the reason I picked those specific things for the kids is I know growing up, they're going to get bullied at points, right? They're going to be told that they're not confident. They're going to be told that they're not good looking. I don't care really about the vanity of it. That's not the idea. But I wanted them to know they're a beautiful person. You know what I mean? And so the improving health is why, because I want people to live their best lives, and I wanted our kids to live their best life. And it's helped when they get bullied. So that would be the second one, is increasing confidence. Because again, we are going to get told that we're not these things. Mm-hmm. So I know you didn't necessarily have this growing up. I don't think Lee was like, hey, let's do some affirmations, Lise. So this has got to be kind of a foreign idea for you.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite, actually. It's, and I look back and it could go either way, right? I'm very thankful for my upbringing. It was definitely not perfect. I don't think anyone's upbringing is ever perfect, right? Parents are doing the best that they can. But for sure, I think in my upbringing specifically, just for example, it was like if I came home and I got second place in the spelling bee, let's say, okay, my parents would be like, okay, why didn't you get first? Right? Or, it'd be, I had all A's and 1 B plus. Okay, well, you could have done better, right? So it was their way of pushing me. And I think people can go either way with that, right? You can either go, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to live up to that. But in my scenario, I think it helped me in a sense because I do have very high expectations, right? And I have high expectations of you. I have high expectations of my children, of vendors or general contractors that we work with. I just expect the world out of people. And sometimes that's challenging. I think it's not realistic, but it has pushed me to have high expectations of myself as well. So a lot of times I'm thankful for that. But I could have gone the other way, right? I could have definitely gone the other way where there was zero positive affirmations. There was zero daily affirmations. There was zero of good job. You did great. But I think somehow internally, I just knew that I could do it. If I pushed myself hard enough, I'm like, all right, I'll get it done. And it was more of proving them not wrong, but proving a point. Like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah, it is interesting because we obviously, in terms of this part of our childhood, it's radically different.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I was told, yeah, everything great. You don't have to achieve at the highest level. In fact, I remember when I was 10 years old, I'll never forget, and I was going for a specific record in swimming. I wanted to break more state records than anyone had ever done. And to the point of where I was exhausted. I mean, I literally couldn't hardly move after my sixth state record that I had broken. And I remember my dad saying, just pull out of the race. And because he was watching his son hurt himself, right?
Oh, gotcha.
And I remember this very clearly. He's like, "What? Why? Why are you doing this?" And he didn't care, but I did.
Right.
So it's interesting in the intrinsic drive that maybe some people have or don't have. And this is a reward, but I guess what I'm saying is because I did have affirmations heaped upon me differently than you, and the expectations were different. So maybe, hopefully, we're melding it all, and it'll work for our kids.
Well, that is interesting that you say that. And just on a sidebar with our oldest, right? Like we're going through that right now. TJ is a competitive tennis player, and we don't put any pressure on him besides the fact that we just want him to be a good human being, have a positive attitude on the court. And I think with hormones and whatever's going on these days, he'll have great matches and great tournaments where his head is screwed on straight. And then, as for example, last weekend, head was not screwed on straight. He was very negative, and there was so much pressure that he puts on himself. And I go, why? Right? And so my take on it, and I know our take on it, is like, if you're not having fun doing it, there is no point of doing it. And he'll sit there and tell you, like, no, this is fun. I'm like, it does not look like you're having a great time out there when you're having, he's just having a meltdown sometimes. And so it's really, it's interesting. So I think we're still trying to figure out.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this conversation, we're totally sidebarred, but that's fine because this is important. I looked at TJ and I wouldn't allow any human being to talk to him the way he was talking to himself.
Right.
And that's what I told him. I was like, how in the world do you think I'm going to allow you to talk to yourself that way? I wouldn't allow anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally go almost to fisticuffs. Not that I beat up a 14-year-old because that would be bad.
No, just kidding.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't allow anyone to talk to it the way he was talking to himself. And so that was the point to him, is like, look, you need to support yourself far more than anybody else, because there's plenty of people that are going to beat you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point of the affirmation. So yeah, apparently we have some work to do, or hopefully the hormones will pass. Oh my gosh, you guys that are dealing with teenagers, they suck, man. Hormones are terrible.
Well, and I feel like he's gotten better, right? Because he'll be 15 in a few weeks. And all of a sudden, our youngest, Trey, who is going to be 12 this year, it's already starting. So it's rough. It's going to be rough.
Just feeling for all the parents that go through the hormones. Love them. Don't love your hormones. And the last one, specific to the daily affirmations, is inspiring you. One of the things about, again, we need to remind ourselves that we are positive. And so whether it's, I call it negative self-talk, or, I think I even wrote a blog on your inner dialogue is a jerk. So if we know that, and we know about 40 to 50,000 words or thoughts, are going through our head every single day, and the vast majority are not necessarily positive, this is a way for you to inspire yourself. And so take advantage of it. So what you say to yourself, hey, you're a badass, or whatever you say when you choose to say it, I would just, not as a coach, because I'm not your coach, I'm just a husband. I would say do it more often, because you are those things. And sometimes you got to trick yourself into remembering that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did you just caw like a seagull? Caw.
Yeah.
You didn't have much to say to that. You're just like, yep.
I'm like, I did not hire you. Last time I checked, did not hire you as my mindset coach, but thank you for the free advice.
I wasn't trying to. So let's just rewind and so if you don't know where to go with this on how to do a daily affirmation, think of the things maybe you struggle with, or think of the things that you aspire to be. So if you feel you're weak, tell yourself you're strong. If you feel you're shy, tell yourself you're outgoing. If you think, I don't know, you're not confident, tell yourself you're confident, because it literally starts and ends with whether you think you are or you're not, you're right. Mm-hmm. And so when you choose to tell yourself, okay, so let's say I'm a shy person, I'm going to tell myself I'm outgoing. I love people, if that's what I want. Now, if I want to be shy, that's cool. Do you? But if there's something that you're looking at and you're like, I want to be something else, just start rewiring your own brain. I know I would like to hear some of the affirmations. Where can they share that with us?
You can always email us at info@letsgowin.com and check us out on all of our social media platforms. Let's Go In 365.
I hope you guys take it to heart. I do it in the mornings and in the evenings. I just, it's funny. I was doing my own daily affirmation, so I created another one for me outside of the kids. So then I had like all these sentences going on. I just adopted theirs, and so I use it every single day. I use it in the morning and in the evening.
Well, I think you're a very good-looking boy.
Thank you, but I say man. I don't say boy anymore. Well, TJ used to say little boy forever. And I'm like, dude, you're not so little anymore. You got to say boy. Anyway. All right, you guys, I hope you got some value from it. I think it's like daily affirmations truly have affected me in a positive way. And I want you guys to do the same for yourself. Until next week, you guys continuing transcending in life. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.